Good morning, evening, or afternoon, whichever one's going on for you at this current point in time. I understand that Florida's still trying to get back to normal. Yes, a lot of people are happy and going about their lives, but there are still some trees and stuff that need to be cleared. And so when I have my chainsaw and my pole saw, I like to make sure that if there's any power lines or anything that needs to be cleared, anything that could fall on somebody or somebody's car, etc., I want to make sure that that doesn't affect hurting them, their vehicles, or even power lines in the area that might affect service. With that being said, my chainsaw is really important because the trees near me, the bark is like rubber and the wood inside is like steel. So I need to make sure that this is super sharp, but I don't want to sit there manually doing it. So I wanted an attachment, and that's where Dremel came in clutch. For those of you who care, it's the A679-02. It's the sharpening kit. Anyways, you can attach it to your Dremel, or in this particular case, if they use the same threads, your Milwaukee M12. With that being said, there is a little picture that says do not use the Dremel keyless chuck. So if you got one of these, do not use it. Normal collet and collet nut is what you need. The open-headed attachment is for cutting your lawnmower blades, and the closed head is for cutting your garden tools, your hedge trimmers, hedge shears, that kind of thing. The cool thing about this is they do come with a variety of different stones, and if you know that you're only going to be using one type of stone in the future, you don't have to keep buying this kit. You can buy these stones individually. So, there is a little chart on the literature that comes with it to tell you which one you need, depending on what you're cutting. So, we shall get to it. Also, if anybody cares, which I doubt, there is a little wrench that's included. Now those two I'm not going to be using, however, the ability to sharpen my chainsaw chains is why I got it. So if you look at the markings there, it's for holding this parallel to a 30-degree angle in line with your bar, and that will allow for that juicy cut to be consistent when you're making your marks. Yes, you're going to be changing it based off of your shaving. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with chainsaws, every tooth does not line up, so they are in this direction, the next one is in this direction, and so you're going to be sharpening every other tooth in one direction and then come back and do every other tooth in the other direction. Sound good? Now the sharpening kit does do 1/4 inch, 3/8, 3/8 low profile, and .325 chain, so anything besides that, this is not for you. However, how do you know if you're going to be using the 3/8 or 3/8 low profile, which is the case with my pole saw and chainsaw? If you happen to have the box or the literature, or you happen to have an extra chain, you can check it out. Or you can look it up for yourself, the manufacturer's spec for your particular chain. Now the amount of chain links does not matter at all. We're looking right here. See where it says pitch 3/8. So now we know we have a 3/8 pitch chain. However, do we use the normal pitch 3/8 or do we use the low profile? And in the picture, because there's nothing here that says low profile, you would instantly go ahead and grab the 7/32 pink stone and just start cutting. Right? Wrong. In my particular case, on the other side, it will actually show you the gauge of the chain and right there what type of file dimensions you need. The 11/64 or the 5/32. So you're not using the 7/32 in this case, we're using the 5/32, which is considered the low profile. So instead of using the pink, we're going to be using the blue, which is, honestly, it's gray, but they call this one the blue one, so this is what it shall be. So like any other Dremel attachment, once your collet's in, slip over your nut, do not tighten it down. You're going to slowly feed in your stone. Not too deep, because obviously you want it to reach the teeth. And if you have to adjust it, then it's going to be kind of annoying once you have your attachment slipped over. Right? So all you have to do is just remember to take off that original nut, attach your piece. If you really think it's going to make a difference, you can go get the wrench and attach it or whatever. And I like to just snug it down by hand. And then make sure that you're not cross-threading this because they do get tight. Again, Milwaukee doesn't have the perfect threads like the Dremel, so keep that in mind, right? And don't wrench on this. These are plastic threads. Now, just to be clear, the shims do go on the inside where the plastic is, not on the outside. But again, you want to see this text here. You just put the screws in, shims go here. All right. Now, you can put it a little bit deeper if you want, or have it line up directly with the end of this. it really doesn't matter. But anyway, all you're going to do is match up that 30-degree angle right in line with your bar as much as possible. Remember, keep your brake on your chainsaw. Now I'm going to go about 5 seconds each, kind of see where they are, make sure they're sharp. Remember, whatever link you're doing, you want to make sure each tooth is getting the same amount of time and the same amount of treatment. You don't want to over sharpen and then under sharpen. So if I give this one 5 seconds, I'm going to try to give this one 5 or 6 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds, and so on. And of course, if you lose your place with which one you're sharpening or which one you sharpen last, just touch them. They're going to be hot to the touch. Now once you've rotated it and hit it, just go to the other side, do the exact same thing. Now rather than changing the orientation of your saw, you don't have to do that. Because this thing is marked in both directions with 30 degrees, all you have to do is hit it from this direction and then hit it from the opposite direction. No need to change the saw, just the angle of your hand. And they are looking much better. Now before anybody doubts me, no, I did not throw on a new chain. Right, you can still see there's still some resin and buildup and whatnot. The only thing is, if you want to get rid of those burn marks on the top, like right here, you see how there's like a burn mark? Resin heats up and it cakes those teeth. Just go over it with the stone and they come out nice and shiny. Alright, no acetone, no chemicals, no nothing, just a little bit of friction, just enough to clean up the teeth. I know it's going to get dirty and covered in resin once you start cutting again, but you want to look back and see a nice clean chain before you use it again. It just makes it look like you did a little more, right? And so I'm going to leave you with a video of me trimming up a peach tree for somebody because he didn't want it to go too long. It's not in season right now because it is getting cold, but when it does start growing, some of them kind of fall onto the other side of the fence and the branches kind of branch over and start leaving leaves in the next door yard. So out of being a considerate neighbor, he wants to trim it, but he is in his mid-60s, so I'm going to take care of that for him. So enjoy that clip, and always remember, work smart.